Replay, of course, in the intermediate quarter-final between Killygarry and Ballymachugh, and Paul Dowling gets it underway. Killygarry from left to right in the first half, dropping across the 21-yard line. That's very half back. That's now setting up a nearly challenge, but at first effort gone out to the right and still no score. On the right to kick out for Killygarry. They, of course, who first this replay with a late one last time out. Ballymachugh dropping it dangerously back in towards the goal, but nice work there by the goalkeeper Mal Doherty, deflecting it out there for a 50. 3 minutes old and might perhaps have started just that couple of minutes earlier, but of course in the event of a draw there will be extra time, and all of both sides were to continue on that trend, or perhaps Ballymachugh in particular, because they have had well, perhaps a fair share of the play there, but they fail to punish, and so there's still no score. Well, Doherty's kick out to this side of the field once again, and a little bit of holding out here. Centre field player for Ballymachugh is Brian Donohoe, dropping it back towards the 21-yard line. Intercepted back here by the wing back for Killygarry in Stephen Sheridan. In fact, it was he that got that late score last time out. Down in front here, yet another free to Killygarry, just inside their own half. Well, nice bit of blocking down there, though the ball did go over the sideline. Killygarry now pressing forward. This is really their first chance now in this first 5 minutes. Way out to the far side, that opens space for the corner forward, Frankie Lovett. Curling one that's gone out to the left of the post, and still no score after about 5 minutes of the first half. Ball dropped back out towards the centre. Killygarry picking it up this time, and Seamus Lynch swinging it back in towards the general direction of the goal mouth, but referee Paul Devlin awarding a free outfield. Yes, about 35 yards out from their own goal mouth. That's to Ballymachugh down here to our left. Well, perhaps it will give you an idea of what has been between these two sides insofar as they've both failed to score in the first 6 minutes of this first half. Jared Gill it was with that one. The referee's not happy, calling back the play. So far failed to score, while the once or perhaps twice that Killygarry got upfield, well, they also failed to score as well. That's Jimmy Galligan. The referee again not happy here for some holding out around the centre field, and Ballymachug's centre field player to take it. That's Brian Donohoe. Kevin Riley picking it up here for Killygarry, up to his centre half back. Ruddy gets it out to the end running, Jimmy Galligan. Frankie Lovett sending the ball over the bar of that long-awaited but first score coming there to Killygarry after just about 6.5 minutes of the first half. Nice bit of interception back here by the Ballymachugh defence. Ball coming out there to John Kiernan, 70 yards out from his own goal. The quick free along the ground and a quick transfer from the centre forward, and perhaps the chance, oh well, pulled down back there by Mel Doherty.
My nephew.
Jared Gill in possession now, just inside the 45-metre line. Again, the goalkeeper doing quite well back here. Shortish clearance, but the free outfield to Killygarry. Just about 21 yards out from their own goal mouth, down to the right. 1 point. 1 point for Killygarry, and Ballymachugh with no score out to the far side. Yet another free, and one would have to say that there's been quite a lot of frees in the first 7 minutes of this replay, that it certainly hasn't produced anything of the form of the drawn game or games. But of course it's early days yet. Damien Keeney finding the target there with ease from about 30 yards out and dropping the ball over the bar. Yes, indeed they are, over on the far side of the field, and this time there will be a line ball to Killygarry that Seamus Lynch will drop a short when it was intended to be so. But cleared out there by the cornerback there in some make, shape or form, but it comes out to the centre of the field. That's Jimmy Galligan outside the 50-yard line. Quick delivery into Keeney, and Keeney left-footed. Very accurate this fella when in possession there, sending his second point over. Damien Keeney there again from about 30 yards out after 10 minutes or so of this first half. So it's Killygarry with 3 points and Ballymachugh with no score. That's after just over 10 minutes play. Once again, the ball kicked down into the centre. Very well brought down out here in the middle for Ballymachugh by the centre field player. And that's Brian Donohoe. Brian being somewhat obstructed there, as we'll have seen, so the referee obliged to move the ball some 10 metres forward. Perhaps. Well, Ballymachugh will be more than anxious to try and pick something of this, but it's not going to work out all that well. Though a nice bit of blocking down there, coming from half forward. Jerry Gill down into the centre now, where once again they gain possession, but all too often finding it so difficult to find the target, and that time out over the end line. In fact, that's their 5th wide of this first half. Jimmy Galligan and Brian Donohoe and Seamus Lynch, and Jimmy Galligan out on the loose here waiting for the short delivery, gets it back into the centre. That was Seamus Lynch. Up now to Keeney outside the 65. Damien Keeney's low kick along the ground, but there gets a dunk just as he gets rid of the ball, so the referee will be awarding the free from where the ball landed, and that's about 40 metres out from the goalmouth down here on the left. No doubt there he is. Damien Keeney will be taking this one for Killygarry. He's already scored 2 points. Frankie Lovett with the other one. So there's his angle. It's not one of the most difficult ones. He can drop it over the bar and increase the lead. It drops a little bit faint, and so the goalkeeper Damien Galligan for Ballymachugh with a lengthy clearance down to this side. Gerard Gill is very anxious that he will get this one up, and succeeds in doing so. Swings it across into the centre. Certainly some nice linking up front here with Ballymachugh are concerned, but their finishing has been poor. Gerard Gill there penalised for jumping on the back there of the defender. Free up to the centre. Another incident just before the ball arrived. An early foul rather, coming on Damien Keeney, so it was a quick free into the full forward Frankie Lovett outside the 21-yard line. It's delivered back out a little bit towards the 21, but it's sent over the bar, and that's the 4th point of the game for Killygarry. 4 points for Killygarry, and that Gerard Gill once again now. I'm sure there must be a certain amount of concern around the forwards in Ballymachugh that they're finding it, a little bit more difficult to get inside the Killygarry backline, but have been performing quite well in the first half. Damien Keeney taking it there from the far side, taking it from the wing forward, Frankie Kelly. So it's just an ordinary kick out down here at the goalmouth on the left. 4 points to no score with Killygarry out in front.
From either side doing up good places at the moment.
That's well brought down there once again by Brian Donohoe for Ballymachugh, but that all too familiar and often quick foul. But his free up towards the right hand corner, it's heading towards, in fact, gone out over the end line, so the score remains at 4 points for Killygarry and Ballymachugh with no score. Certainly how Ballymachugh, if they were to lose it, that's if they were to lose it, would be counting the cost. Well, with about 14 minutes in this first half, they've already shot a total of 7 wides. It was Jimmy Galligan there, taking a little bit of a thump out on the centre, but geared up to take the free himself. Not too often that you'll, certainly see a cornerback up in an attacking position, certainly that close to the goalmouth, but Kevin Riley in that case for Killygarry trying to get his name on the scroll of fame, but failed to do so. So the score remains 4 points for Killygarry and Ballymachugh still no score. Certainly all the talk that's been about this game during the week, that it could be this and it could be that and it could be a cracking game, but it hasn't really lifted off the ground as of yet. Certainly that was close to it, the corner forward out here on the far side for Ballymachugh, and that was Hughie Coyle in towards the goalmouth now, but Mel Doherty once again, who's been a busy man this afternoon, or should we say this evening, this September evening. The clearance out to the centre. This is Jimmy Galligan about to move across the halfway line, then decides to deliver. Not the safest place in the world perhaps, and Brendan Sweeney there to collect it and whip it upfield here for the Ballymachugh men, but that will be their 8th wide. Well, Doherty's kick down to the centre. Seamus Lynch breaking it down the middle. Nobody with the exception of Ballymachugh full forward there to pick it up and send it across into the middle. Ryan's kick is blocked down. Stephen Sheridan here on the far side for Killygarry. Certainly one would have to say that Ballymachugh have more possession out around the centre field area. There's the centre half back, and he too can do what the others have been doing, and that's their 9th wide, and that one coming from the centre half back, Anton Brierdy. So it's 4 points to no score with Killygarry out in front. And that comes after about just over 17 minutes of this first half. So that's Mel Doherty to kick out once again, dropping a bit short inside the 45. Riley delivers it up to the middle. Jared Gill taking it from Brian Kiernan inside the 50-yard line. Yes. So Paul Devlin here stamping his authority, moving the ball some 10 metres forward. This one for Killygarry, full forward, Frankie Lovett. Also fouled, but the quick free almost goes unnoticed now. So it'll be the turn of Kiernan for Ballymachugh to defend. Corner back, in fact, Gibson, and saw the free down into the centre field area. In fact, inside the 50-yard line at the other end. Maloney coming out to it. That one been half smothered, but it breaks out here to Jared Gill inside the 50-yard line. Stephen Sheridan after him, but the ball is sent over the bar by Jared Gill. That's Mel Doherty's way out now to the far side of the field. A little bit of sweeping up here by Killygarry on the far wing, close to the sideline. In fact, the ball knocked out over on the just inside the 45. That's the 45-metre flag behind. Trying to engineer a short one up now to Frankie Lovett, the full forward. He's moving and roving out around all the places, now heading towards the goal mouth, and still Lovett from the side of his boot. The chip, and a nice one. Frankie Lovett sending it over there from the outside of his left boot. Back now with the action in the centre of the field, and the centre half back here is Anton Brierdy, dropping it into the goal mouth. Now Doherty, with the assistance of his full back, out now to Stephen Sheridan. There's a lengthy delivery up along this side, nicely controlled there by Damien Keeney. That will be a line ball to Ballymachugh, about 35 yards out or thereabouts from their own goal mouth. Porrick Ruddy winning the break here for Killygarry and gets it back in towards the middle. An honest-to-God shoulder. The referee allowing, and rightly so, the play going on as Seamus Lynch will thump it way out towards the far side for Killygarry, and Frank Kelly is the player there in question, dropping it across the 21-yard line. Defenders and forwards going for it, the defence winning on this occasion, and Stephen Sheridan. Referee says play on. Brendan Sweeney coming out to it here for Ballymachugh. That's Anton Brierdy. Transfers it to the centre forward, and that's gone over the bar. Anthony Goldrick taking it from Anton Brierdy and dropping the ball over the bar.
Brendan Kiernan needs to step and swing play. Certainly no time we wasted because of this one in here. They've got to try and raise an extra time.
This is the right half back here now for Ballymachugh, and that's Pádraig Sheridan. Pádraig being chased there by Sean Gray, but gets it out to the right hand side here. Thomas Smith was the 15. 10 for Ballymachugh is Gary Goldrick. Cross into the centre to Gerard Gill. Dainty kick into the referee's blown his whistle while Brian Kiernan was having a go at sending that one into the net perhaps, but the referee's whistle had sounded, so there's the resulting free out into the centre, and that's Jimmy Galligan, just moved across the halfway line, then delivers out to the far side. So it's another opportunity for Killygarry, but again it drops a little bit short there from the right boot there of Austin Riley. So this is Brendan Sweeney. Those type of kicks can sometimes be dodgy, but in that case it worked out all right. So it's out to the far side, and well, with just 2 points between them and over 25 minutes gone in the first half, there's an old saying that it's all to play for. It's a somewhat wasteful kick in towards the general direction of the goalmouth, hopping out over the end line and wide, and that would be, what is it, 10 wides in this first half as of now for Ballymachugh, and at the other end Killygarry have had 3. But it matters most of all, and that's on the board. Killygarry have 5 points while Ballymachugh, they've got 3. Brian Kiernan delivers it up to the centre, and once again Ballymachugh asserting some pressure up around the goal mouth. If they can make something of this one, they're certainly very much in touch, but in fact that would be their 11th wide, so it's still 5 points to 3. Nice delivery up along the far side of the field there, but a little bit of misjudgment. Will be punished by Brendan Kiernan back out here on the far side, the referee says, and that he was held. So the free will be outfield outside the 50-yard line, just that couple of yards in. That's Brendan Sweeney with the ball out on the far side. Long delivery right up through the middle, trying to set up something that half back line of Killygarry are doing, and that's preventing time and time again. And there's a perfect example, and here's more of it. And there's the centre field in action, Jimmy Galligan. And now it's Stephen Sheridan outside the 50-yard line. Not sure what the rhythm there, the method was, but perhaps it might work out all right if Austin Riley can get this one up. Brendan Sweeney doing the 45 for Killygarry. Had 5 points in the second drawn game. Looked a little bit dodgy and something porous there about the back line, but Brendan Sweeney just in the right place there at the right time. So it's Damien Keeney once again to get it across into the centre to Gray. It's Sean Gray outside the 21-yard line. Low along the ground across to Seamus Lynch, and Seamus can send this one over the bar and make it 6 for Killygarry. Sean Gray failing to hold it there, but it's Kiernan that will send it forward here for Ballymachugh. Goldrick in possession, 35 yards out. Can this be another wide? I'm afraid that the answer is yes, to say the least, and disappointing. The football certainly hasn't lived up to the standards of that in the second replay, or indeed the drawn game previous to that. However, so the referee Paul Dowland will get the second half underway. Killygarry are away like a bang, but well, perhaps it's something about the goalmouth up here on the right this evening. That one there from Seamus Lynch gone out to the right and wide. That's their 4th wide, the first of the second half. 6 points to 3 on the board with Killygarry out in front. It's Damien Galligan in the blue jersey to kick out for Ballymachugh, playing from right to left in this second half and playing as Killygarry were in the first against a fairly stiffish breeze. Down into the centre It's Damien Keeney out here on the far side for Killygarry outside the 50-yard line. Didn't make a lot of ground with it, certainly in the direction of the goalmouth, but it might work out all right. Back here for Ballymachugh, that's the right half back, and that's Pádraig Sheridan. Nipping in after it here, Austin Riley. The referee blows his whistle and awards a free out. Free out. Well, the numbers and the players have been swapped and chopped around so much, not since the game started, but indeed before it, and well, a little bit disconcerting anyway, a little bit different from what we received. But having that sorted out now, it's Ballymachugh that are moving forward, and Anthony Goldick, a shortish kick, trying to link up with Gerard Gill, but it's nicely intercepted here momentarily. Doesn't come out very far, and Gary from 21 yards out, hopping ball that goes out over the end line and wide. 13 wides, that is, for Ballymachugh. This match up to now, that's of course a second half that's just a couple of minutes old. The centre half back, Pádraig Ruddy, pressing it forward, but intercepted back here by Goldrick for Ballymachugh. About to move now towards the 50-yard line. Rudden about to descend on him, but it's still Goldrick heading towards the 21-yard line now, being ruffled around a little bit to Gerard Gill, taking it to relieve him, and in towards the goalmouth again, a faintish kick, and Kevin Riley in there for Killygarry out to the far side. That's Damien Keeney punching it up through the centre to Jimmy Galligan, 65 yards out. Jimmy Galligan delivers it out to the far side to Lovett. Back out to Damien Keeney inside the 50. This too has all the ingredients of a wide. It's gone very much out to the right of the post. So the score remains, as was the case at half time, 6 points for Killygarry and 3 for Ballymachugh. It's Damien Galligan's kick down now towards the centre field area. Referee not happy with some holding out around the centre field. Gerard Gill with a quick free, a little bit quicker, that bit too quick perhaps, and nicely cut off here for Killygarry. Seamus Lynch back to Ruddy, the man that initially cleared it outfield for Killygarry. Dropping ball outside the 14-yard line. The right corner back is centre half back Anton Brady for Ballymachugh, setting up the forwards once again. This time it's Anthony Goldick outside the 21, trying to link up with the full forward inside, but in fact the ball will be held back here by Dara Maloney, and Dara delivers it down to the far side, and Stephen Sheridan is 55 yards out on the ground, and here's the free himself across another centre. Well, pulled down out here by Damien Keeney outside the 65-yard line. Number 17 there on the Ballymachugh side is Brian Donahoe. Brendan Sweeney taking it from the goalkeeper here, Galligan, and heading towards the 50 and now the 65-metre line. A late tackle, but the referee allows the play to go on. This very definitely a free as the half forward goes down. That's Gary Goldick, but it's so quick, and the referee has again blown his whistle, this time just inside the 50-yard line. Free will be outfield to Killygarry, 45 metres out from their own goalmouth, and that's Kevin Riley's. There's his kick up along the near side, knocked out to this side here for Killygarry. Sean Gray, definitely not Austin Riley, definitely Sean Gray, and also definitely wide. So it's still 6 points to 3, and Ballymachugh introducing a sub now.
Brendan.
Brendan Sweeney fouled about 10 yards out. Down here from the goalmouth on the right, Brendan Galligan in for Ballymachugh, and also Richard Fitzsimons. Meanwhile, back with the play on the far side, here's Porrick Sheridan. Shortish one up through the centre. Centre forward is Anthony Golick, but fails to hold on to it this time. Stephen Sheridan there to deliver for Killygarry down along the far side of the field. Stephen Sheridan delivers it down along the far side for Killygarry. What might have been a deceiving hop was well controlled as Lovett drops it in and over the bar. Nice one there from about 35 yards out there from the full forward. That's their first score of the second half. Now it's Brendan Galligan in possession for Ballymachugh. Outside the 21-yard line, can get the point, and he sends it over the bar. Brendan Galligan, they're sending it over for Ballymachugh to make it now 7 points to 4. This is Mel Doherty now to kick out for Killygarry, leading by 3 points. We've had a total of 4 wides in the first 37 minutes of this game. 4 of those coming in the first half. Ballymachugh with a dozen. Damien Keeney in possession out here to Seamus Lynch. Fails to hold on to it. That's Brendan Sweeney on the 50-yard line. Sweeney gets it way out to this side now to Richard Fitzsimons. Fitzsimons with a shortish link up that works out quite well to the centre half back. Ruddy down at the other end, and Killygarry as the ball is swept way up into the Ballymachugh defence. So Brendan Sweeney goes down there outside the 50-yard line. That's about 15 yards in from the near sideline. 7 points to 4, 3 between them. Brendan Sweeney receiving some attention. It might be an opportunity perhaps to have a peep at the crowd down to our left and down in front. It's difficult to say if they're enjoying the game. There's not an awful lot to shout about. Certainly hasn't been in the first half, though the tempo has upped a little bit. The fact that Ballymachugh have come more into the game. Meanwhile, it's back now with the play. Donoghue here in possession for Ballymachugh, but there's a perfect example of how that linking up doesn't seem to be working out all that well for them. Out to the far side of the field, and Lovett in possession once again. 35 yards out. Can he get the point? The answer this time is no. From almost the exact same spot a couple of minutes ago, he sent one over the bar, that one out to the right after 10 minutes of play in the second half, and still 3 points between them. This is Damien Galligan now for Ballymachugh. Jimmy Galligan down under it was perhaps hoping to field that one, but coming in very quickly there, Brian Kiernan for Ballymachugh, and breaking it out to the far side. Porrick Galligan that was, now Sheridan pressing, moving the ball forward, but it's held back here by Seamus Lynch. Seamus Lynch up now through the middle for Killygarry, and Killygarry now into Frankie Lovett on the 14. Can he get the goal? He's going to go for the point and takes it, and rightly and deservedly so. Frankie Lovett sending the ball over the bar. That would be his 4th point of the game and increasing that lead. 8 points to 4. Well, it's a game that up to now, with what did we say, about 30 of course of the first half plus 12 minutes or thereabouts of the second half, that it's a game that Killygarry have always been in control of the scoreboard, and at all times on the scoreboard rather, and at all times they're out in front. But oh, those wides. Make that 14, the linesman down in front, trying to, well, in fact, trying to draw the attention of the referee there for a substitution on the Ballymachugh side in Sean Briody, wearing number 18, Sean Briody. Back with the action in the centre of the field. Ballymachugh looking a little bit niftier in the second half, but finding it difficult to get those scores, though they have managed a point in the second half. Killygarry have already registered 2 in the second half. So instructions from the official out in the centre will tell you that that was a free outfield to Killygarry, but just in saying that, it's Anthony Goldrick that will try to set up Ballymachugh, but it's intercepted by Stephen Sheridan on the far side. Jimmy Galligan pouncing on it there, very close to the sideline, and in fact it will be a free as opposed to a line ball, so Jimmy will take the kick himself and send it right up along the far side of the field. That's Brendan Sweeney. That's Brendan Sweeney, who's made a full recovery and delivers it out to this side of the field. So the Gary Goldrick there, the player that was in possession a moment ago, now Sheridan to Fitzsimons, and Fitzsimons on the 14-yard line, a left-footed chip, and that's a very nice one there from a pretty difficult angle there with his left boot. So just a goal in it now, 8 points to 5, with Killygarry holding the balance of power after 14 minutes of play in the second half. Lovett delivering to Damien Keeney. Oh, that's a... No, it's gone wide. I was going to say it would have been a nice one had it gone over there. In fact, the crowd had also anticipated that that ball was going over the bar, but in fact it went about a foot out to the right and it went wide. 8 points to 3. It was 6-3 at half time. Ballymachugh with 14 wides in this game. Certainly if they're to win it, they can look back on how much they might have won it by had they sent some of those over. But it's not going to be all that easy there, as that one drops over the bar there from Sean Gray for Killygarry to make it 9 points to 5. Ball back down on the centre of the field once again. Pádraig Galligan, the right half back for the Ballymachugh lads, here in possession on the far side. Fouled on the free himself up now to Jerry Gill, transfers it out to the far side. This one can be sent across by the centre forward Anthony Goldrick to set it up for something bigger and better, but Kevin Riley gets it out to Stephen Sheridan. Sheridan's kick is a little bit faint also, and Jerry Gill there out there to block it down and knock it out, in fact, out over the sideline on the far side, but it went away from the Killygarry defender, so that's the line ball, and there's Kiernan with the kick out over the end line and make that number 15. John T. Gilston coming into the game now. John T. Gilston coming in for Killygarry. So now the ball to be kicked out down here by the goalkeeper Mel Doherty. Electrifying speed from Keaney to Seamus Lynch, punching it further in. Oh, goal! A goal! A goal that was badly needed, certainly, to jizz this game up. Lovely bit of hurling football style there by Frankie Lovett, doubling on the ball in a three-man move and tapping it in across the head of the goalkeeper, Damien Dignan. Well, there's 7 points in it now, and Ballymachugh will certainly need to be getting their act together, and if they're to turn this game around. I'm sure that those wides will be a worrying factor for the remainder of this game, and indeed a nightmare thereafter. That's if they were to lose it. Richard Fitzsimon's trying to do something about it in now two most recent substitution there, but he sends it way out to the far side, and out after it here Gary Goldie close to the end line, moving back now to the about 10 metres out. Chance of something coming up. Oh, nice bit of work there by the goalkeeper. It's a 50 or a 45, whatever you like to call it, but they did their utmost there to try and get inside, and it just wouldn't work. It was Sean Briotti that set up Ballymachugh out to the far side, but that shot cut off by the vigilant Mel Doherty in the Killygarry goal mouth. About 10 minutes or so now left in this decider. 1-9 to 5 points. Killygarry certainly very much in command, and indeed more so now in this second half, and the fact that that goal there, well, it certainly has put a certain amount of icing on the cake, but the game is by no means over. Certainly life was somewhat difficult for the Ballymachugh side, insofar as all reserves being called on, well, after 10 minutes of the second half, which leaves them now in a position that they're to, well, defend and attack and try and control around midfield with a player short. Stephen Sheridan collecting here. Let's hope that we'll see the presence of the player down injured on the far side back out on the field very, very shortly. Low ball right across to the centre, but it's held back here by Seamus Lynch. 35 yards out from his own goal. Mott delivers it down into the centre field area. Certainly out around here, Ballymachugh have been having their share of play, if you like. So dribbling towards the 45-metre line and then collected and cleared down along the far side. One got the feeling that the interest was somewhat slipped or gone there as that ball dropped out over the sideline on the far side. So it will be a line ball for Killygarry, and Stephen Sheridan over there on the far side will take the kick.
Let's see what can happen. As the ball goes down here, 2 Richard Fitzsimons straight to the left side. A free, 2 to left.
Just inside their own half of the field. Linesman again drawing the attention of the referee as Brendan Sweeney now goes back down on the ground. So it's certainly not been an evening out for Ballymachugh with 2 players. One up behind the goalmouth on the left, and Brendan Sweeney, of course, got a knock or two a little bit earlier on in this game, also down, with all 3 subs, of course, already being called on after 10 minutes of that second half, and about 9 minutes or so left in the game, and 1-9 to 0-5 on the scoreboard. Well, life ain't easy for Ballymachugh.
When you play 10 minutes, you play 10 minutes of your game this time.
Well, Mel Doherty always had the ball covered there as it was coming in there, and it seemed as though there was to be no way through for Ballymachugh. Now back out of the centre of the field, the free to Killygarry. The centre half back is Porrick Rudden. He will chip it out, possibly meant for Seamus Lynch. Jimmy Galligan rather will do. Now it's Seamus Lynch, and that's a grand point as he drops it over the bar to make it 1 goal and 10 points. 1 goal and 10 points for Killygarry. Seamus Lynch sending that one over.
Well, Brendan Sweeney is still in the game, and I look around and see Anthony Goldrick is helped down by the end line.
13 points to 5, and Damien Galligan once again to kick out. Down to the centre.
The referee has heard something and is now calling Anton Bryony to him. So the name of Anton Bryony of Ballymachugh going into the book of referee Paul Levin.
Way out to the far side here. Ballymachugh will certainly be going for goals perhaps in these closing 7 minutes or so of this. Back out to Fitzsimons outside the 21-yard line to Gerard Gill. Gerard Gill trying to get it in now and succeeds to Brendan Sweeney. Sweeney a little bit further in, right across the goal mouth, but for some reason or another, yes, it's a 45 and all the rest, but for whatever reason, well, there's no goal on the cards apparently for Ballymachugh, or at least there hasn't been up to now. And with about 6.5 to 7 minutes or so left in the game, well, you never know, that goal might that has been eluding them might still be forthcoming, but even if it was, well, they would still be 5 points in arrears. To make life, of course, that bit tougher for them. They're also playing with 14 men as their injured player has been brought off the field, down in front. Meanwhile, the dropping ball in towards the goalmouth into Sweeney, who's up around the full forward area. Going for the goal. Cut off. Seamus Lynch playing a midfield role, a defending role, and all over the place. Not so sure what he had planned there, or what he was thinking, but anyway, it works out all right. That's Jimmy Galligan. Jimmy, of course, is also a well-known referee. Up through the centre to Frankie. That's just about a yard inside the 50-yard line. And there's Jimmy now from 35 yards out. That one coming down off the post. If you tried for that, I don't suppose it'll work out as well. But Sean Gray is going to try and move it in a little bit, a yard or so. And in doing so, he will drop the ball over the bar. Well, it took Ballymachugh 19 minutes of the first half to register their first score. In the second, they've just managed to. Brendan Sweeney now certainly showing no signs of an injury that, well, gave the impression that he might be going out of this game, but he's back very much in the fray now as he delivers it out to Gerard Gill here. Porrick Ruddy back here for Killygarry to gather it up and clear it downfield, where it will come to his opposing number, and that's Anton Brardy. And Anton Brardy sends it right-footed right up through the centre. Chasing out after it here, Austin Riley on the 50-yard line. It's down to the ground, assisted of course in doing so, and he gets it into Porrick Ruddy, the centre half. Back up through the middle. Hughie Coyle there. Also Michael Maguire, the man that got the first point. Now John T. Gilston dropping it in towards the goal mouth. Well, it was perhaps a chance of another one there for Frankie had he been a yard or two in that little bit further there, but the ball cleared out by the goalkeeper out to the side, and Kiernan will get it up into the middle. Brian Kiernan on the halfway line for Ballymachugh. Barring a miracle, certainly there's going to be a result in this one inside the next 4 minutes or so. John T. Gilson here on the far side for Killygarry, dictating and showing the pace now in these closing moments, but sending this one out to the left and sending it wide. So if we were to go by the programme, Fergal Brides would appear to be the pair that's coming in. And while Ballymachugh are not going to give up or anything like that, Kevin Riley back here to make sure for Killygarry. The referee has in fact blown his whistle, signalling that there will be a free in. So it's Sean Maloney, in fact, it's in the game now for Killygarry. All those numbers, not to mention the wides, 15 in all. Shortish clearance out to this side. Gray for Killygarry. Ruddy pushing it forward up through the 50-yard line, back out to this side in the direction of Gray. Once again, Porrick Galligan in there to intercept. Up along the near side. Now it's Anton Brardy taking it from the cornerback, and that's Declan Goldrick up into the centre field area. This is Porrick Galligan now. Adding a little bit of power to it as he gets it out to Brian Kiernan on the far side and racing out after it on the far wing there. Ball gone out over the sideline there, in fact, despite the best efforts of Sean Briotti. So we make it to just over 30 minutes now gone in this second half. 1 goal and 11 points for Killygarry and Ballymachugh with 5. And how these two sides could have played a draw, well, on the build-up to this one might seem a little bit of a mystery, but that is a reality. And the reality at this point in time is that Killygarry are definitely on their way into the semi-final. 14 points to 5, 9 points between them, and Ballymachugh attacking again. But again, good defensive work, this time coming from Dan O'Connor, the Killygarry full-back, down to Seamus Lynch, who played a big part in this, and Seamus sending the ball right up now to the full walk forward, and Frankie Lovett. Frankie Lovett, 35 yards out, is foul, and the referee will be awarding the free in to Killygarry, those 35 yards out from the goalmouth down here to our right. We're just slipping through the motions now in these dying moments as Frankie Lovett sends the ball over the bar. Over the bar. They never trailed at any stage in this game. They led by the narrowest of margins. That was their first score. After that, they built on that at half-time. They led 6-3, and now with 31 minutes in this second half, it's 1-11. In fact, 1-12 to 5 points. Oric Roddy, the centre-back. Seamus Lynch, very much into the picture again for Killygarry. Getting it out to Stephen Sheridan on the far side. Just outside the Ballymachugh 50. Tapping it forward here, Alston Riley, close to the 14-yard line on the far side. The referee has blown his whistle. No, in fact, it's a free outfield. Brian Kiernan here for Ballymachugh, failing to control the ball, and Frankie Lovett in after it once again. Frankie 45 yards out, hopping out towards the end line. Damien Galligan goes out to pick it up because he knows in his heart and soul that that ball was going to go wide, and also that Ballymachugh are on their way out of the championship. 1-12 to 5. The ball is kicked out to this side of the field. It's gone out over the end line. So there you have it, 1 goal and 12 points at the finish for Killygarry. Ballymachugh disappointed with 5 points in the end and a total of 15 wides.